So welcome everybody. We're on episode 15 already of season 2. So glad to have you with us. And as you can see by this slide on your screen, we're talking about Power BI dashboards today. All right. So for our agenda, this is what we have. Welcome everybody in. Do some housekeeping, some reminders of how to contact us, which links to use. We'll do a quick episode from season one, a quick recap from season one's episode, because it had one on Power BI dashboards as well. So we'll make sure that you're aware of what we're not going to cover today and what you can go back to watching in that episode as well. And then we'll have a demo, so you can see how you could implement it yourself. All right, so hello, this is me. I'm James. I'm part of the customer success team here at Sison. I'm based in the UK, and I really enjoy playing around with Power BI in my lab. So whenever those tickets do come in, it's always a highlight because I get to do the dragging and drop in. So if you have any questions or you're looking to implement it more in your setup, please do send those tickets in, and I'd enjoy dealing with those. Okay, so for housekeeping, I have a list of these links, which I will throw into the chat. Um, they haven't changed. So if you have any questions throughout, feel free to raise your virtual hand or call out. We've got the schedule link there. We've got where you can provide your feedback, whether that's via email or via our brand new help portal. And we've got our KB link as well as the community one there as well. All right. So what was covered in season one's episode about Power BI? Well, it was breaking down all things about Power BI, specifically the reporting options that are available and how to publish it online and what you can do with that, and the out-of-box template. It covered what the capabilities are and how to retrieve it as well. And it also touched on the requirements, what you'll need license-wise to make use of it, and which credentials you'll need to grab from Tikit in order to make the integration work. So if you're wondering about any of those things, do check out that episode. I believe I have a link to that. So let me grab that for you, just in case you want to check it out afterwards. Let me paste that here. Okay. The link's in the chat. So if you want to refresh your memory on that one, feel free to check that one out afterwards. So, time for our demo. Let me stop sharing here, and then I'll introduce what we're talking about, what we're demoing. All right, so hopefully you can all see that. All right, so here, oh, if I could get a thumbs up, just so I'm not ahead of you guys. A thumbs up if you guys can see that reporting screen. Perfect. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. All right. So this is the out of box reporting that you see in web.tikit.ai. So some useful metrics here, but I've seen while working with some customers, a few have brought up that they want to see reports for each department, whether that be monthly or quarterly. They want to see how each individual department is doing. And of course, that's not possible in this view right here. So how would we make that happen? Well, that's where Power BI is very useful. So here you can see I've opened up the template and I've made some changes here. And this is what I've come up with. So I've got one for HR, and I've got one for my general A team, so the general IT team. Now the details are quite sparse, as you can see, because it's just a lab environment. There aren't many active tickets going in there. It's only really used for testing. But it's just so you can see how you would build it out. So how did we get here then? Well, what we'll do, we'll delete this HR one and we'll show you how we made it. So what I did was I went to this default tickets view that shows you everything for each team. And I just duplicated it because each of the metrics are quite useful and I'd like to see them for each team. I've duplicated it. I'll rename it to HR. And then, as you can see, I've got the exact same view, but I want to see the HR side of things. So what I'd do on this right-hand side where we have data, I'd go to the tickets drop down and I'd find team. So I've got team here. Now I drag this over to filters on this page. When it says page, it means this tab that we're on, this HR tab. So I'll drag that up to the top and I'll select the team that I want, which is HR. And as you can see, it's changed over. Now I can see a view with just HR information. Okay, so that's that. So now this is showing me the information for all time. Some customers have brought up that they want to see it monthly or quarterly. Now, how would you do that? Well, at the minute, the only time-related filter that's being applied here is the one that's applied throughout the report, which is the created date being greater than or equal to 2020. Now, that won't be very useful for me in making it monthly or quarterly. So what do I need to do? Well, under tickets as well, we can go to created date and then we can drag that up to filters on this page. And here we've got the basic filters. So it gives you exact dates, which is not really what I want. So I'll change the filter type to relative date, and then you can have it as you want. Let me click off that. So then you can change this filter here to whatever you want it to be. So if you want it by calendar month, if you want it by calendar week, if you want it by month, or year even, then you can select that here. So if I wanted it to be quarterly, I might do calendar month and I might say last 3 months and then apply that filter. And at the top here, if I make that a bit bigger, I can see what dates are being covered here. Okay, so you might notice that it's only going up to the 31st of July. If you want today, the 5th of August, um, to be covered in here as well, then I would just change calendar months to months. And here I get the option to include today as well. So I can apply that filter. And as you can see, it goes from the 6th of May to the 5th of August. So it's whatever you prefer, really. Okay, so now I have this as I want it, but let's say I have some more teams that I want to build out. Do I then have to go back to tickets and add those filters again? Well, no. What I can do is just duplicate this HR tab here. I might rename it. Let's do service desk. Okay, and then I'll change the team over to my service desk one. Now, this is very empty. Once again, it's just a lab, but just showing you how you would build those out. And you can create another one and do one for help desk and so on and so forth. So let's say you're at the point where you've done that, you've built out all your departments, pages and reports. Now, what else can you do with that? Well, you could stop there and just save the report and use that within your team, but you can also publish it and then use it in Microsoft Teams as well. So here, I published one of the reports already, and I've opened it in Power BI's website. I've opened the report, and here you can see the different pages available. So I've gone to my HR page, and I can use this URL. I can copy this and I can go over to Teams, and I've gone over to the HR team, gone over to the general team that people use, a general channel that people use. I can add a tab at the top here and do Power BI, and then hit save, and then I can drop that link in here. So if I add that, give it a moment. Just let it do its thing. I might have to refresh here. Okay, it's still going. I believe I had one from before. Let's see if I deleted that one too. Yeah, I think I did. It's coming eventually. Here we are. Here we are. So now people within that team can hop into their channel and just see it in the top of it there in that tab. And they can see all of this information. Now, let's see if let me just manage the access. That's it. So you might be wondering, oh, how can I make sure that those within that team can see the report? Well, if you just manage the access and go to direct access here, then you can add either individual users or you can add security groups as well, just as I have here for human resources. It's important to note that it's very particular about the group type. So as you can see here, I have the group type set to security and that allows it to work. But I had another group that was set to Microsoft 365 in the group type, and that didn't show up at all. So we have to make sure that the group type is set to security. I'm not sure if any other group types work, maybe worth checking on that. But yeah, security definitely does. So then whoever's in that security group, they'll be able to access it from their team's experience as well. Now, as far as refreshing, you might be wondering, how can I make sure that this information is up to date? Well, regarding the scheduled refresh, that's usually available in Power BI. I haven't seen a way to incorporate that here. Maybe one of my team members can correct me on that if I'm wrong. But it will pick up changes when you make them directly to the published report here. So if I make a change here, then it will show it for everybody else who has access to it in Teams. And it's also important to know that any changes that you make in Microsoft Teams itself, they'll just be applied to your experience. So if I were to change the team or change the time frame that's within this report here, it won't show up for the other users. It will just be for you. And then once you refresh that page, it will go back to how the published report is set up. Okay, so that's the example I wanted to use. I don't believe I have any other notes to cover. Nope, that's all. All right, so I'm not sure if anybody had any questions or anything they wanted to add. Doesn't sound like it. All right, great. But yeah, so once again we've got the links in the chat. So if a question does pop up, do pop them over to us by email or on the help portal. And then it's also worth checking out that first episode to see if there's anything else that you'd like to know there as well. So thanks again, everybody, for checking in, and I hope you all have a lovely day. See you next time.